Happy day, friends. I hope that wherever you are, whenever it is that you are watching this, that you are doing well and that you are feeling grounded and centered within yourself. And if not, I hope that you will take out some time to give that to yourself, okay? Part of the reason why that's coming through, this conversation around you taking out the time to give yourself the space to ground, to center yourself, to come back home to yourself, is why I'm here. The reason why that's coming through is the reason why I'm here. So I'm offering a reading for the collective, and this reading has everything to do with following your heart. Okay, so those of you who are watching, you may be at a crossroads at this point in time in your life right now. You may be at a crossroads mentally, emotionally. You may be experiencing being at a crossroads, needing to make decisions and just not knowing which direction to go, just feeling a little bit unclear on what direction you should go. Okay, so the first thing Spirit wanted you to hear is that it's important for you to take out the time to ground, to center yourself, to come back home to yourself, okay, so that you can make heart-centered decisions, okay, so that you can make choices that align with your heart, that align with the will of your soul, okay? And so keep that in mind as you're moving throughout these next few days. Keep that in mind as you are observing yourself, questioning and going back and forth within your mind about what is the right thing to do, what decision should you make, should you do this, should you do that, should you go left, should you go right. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind that the reason why the questioning and the confusion is present is because Spirit is trying to call you back home to yourself, right? It's not, confusion is not present. The questioning is not happening because you don't have the answers, right? It's not happening because you don't have access to the answers. It's happening because Spirit is trying to get you to come back home to yourself, to see that you do have the answers, to show you that the answers are living within you, and that all you have to do is bring yourself into this space of stillness, okay? Be still and know. And so that's what Spirit is asking you, okay? That is what your angels, okay, are asking you. Your angels, your angel, okay, is asking you to come back home to yourself, is asking you to get still so that you can hear, so that you can listen from within, okay? So let's get into the reading and see what we have available to us. So like I said, this is a reading that is specifically speaking to you following your heart, okay? And what I have here, I've pulled the cards. I don't know, what they are right now, but I have pulled the cards and I have them in the shape of a compass, okay? So we have the center point, and then we have one card representing each direction, okay? So northeast, southwest, and then the center point, okay? So we're just gonna see what direction your heart is calling you to go in, okay? When we talk about following your heart, what direction is your heart calling you to go in? All right, you should gain some clarity, okay? So set the intention, hold the intention within your heart right now that through this reading, you will gain some clarity, okay? You will gain some insight into the direction that you should go in, into where your heart is leading you to, and where your soul, right, wants you to go at this point in time. So so the oracle card that we have, which is the card in the center of the compass, is the crown chakra. Okay, the crown chakra. And the word that I'm hearing with this card is overdrive. Okay, overdrive. Your mind right now at this point in time is in overdrive. So what you want to do, okay, the crown chakra, your mind being in overdrive, okay, so the crown chakra governs, right, your mind. Your crown chakra governs your mental capacities, okay? It governs your imagination, okay? And so in order for you to receive insight, in order for you to receive guidance, in order for you to hear what it is that your angels have for you, the wisdom, the guidance, the direction, the insight, okay, what your spirit is asking for you, the reason why the crown chakra is here is because your spirit wants you to know that in order for you to receive this insight, right, in order for you to gain this clarity, you need to ground this energy. You need to bring this energy that's on overdrive within your mind being on overdrive. You need to ground this energy. Okay? You need to take out some time to use your breath to bring this energy up here into your heart. Okay? To filter this energy that's in this space, filter it through your heart, ground it down through your heart. Okay, so you're needing to really work on, at this point in time, in order for you to gain clarity, in order for you to gain insight, in order for you to move forward in the best possible way, you need to get into your heart. You need to get into your heart. Okay, that's what I'm hearing. Get into your heart. Get into your, because we're talking about following your heart. Right now, you're stuck in your mind. And because you're stuck in your mind and you're asking all these questions, you're unable to see, right? Because the insight comes in through the crown. And then it filters through down into the heart. And so in order for you to receive that information, because that's what I'm hearing too, is that your spirit, your higher self, has information for you, but you aren't receiving it because you are trying to figure it out on your own. Okay? Because you aren't trusting what you're receiving. You're neglecting the information that you're receiving that's coming through. You're neglecting that information for comfort, right? You're trying to figure out how you can get comfortable, right? You're reaching for, searching for comfort. And meanwhile, your spirit is sharing this information with you, is pouring these downloads into you. But you're not taking these downloads and this information and trusting it, and you're not integrating it. Okay, so the crown chakra, speaking to this wisdom that's flooding through you, this wisdom that has the ability to change your life, but are you allowing it to? Okay, so with the crown chakra being at the center of the compass, that is letting you know, okay, that your wisdom, this divine knowledge, this insight that you're receiving has to be at the center of every decision that you make moving forward. Okay, that wisdom, that divine knowledge, that insight, that information that's being downloaded, that you're receiving through meditation, but that you aren't quite, again, you're not trusting it so that you can integrate it, that has to be at the center of every decision that you're making. So that's the first thing that Spirit needs you to see, that Spirit needs you to reflect on, is what is at the center of my decision-making process? What knowledge am I basing this decision around, right? Am I basing this decision around fear, around the knowledge that fear is bringing up for me, right? Okay, or am I basing this decision around what I know to be true from the insights, wisdom, downloads that have been given to me? Am I willing to trust that information and integrate it? Okay, so the crown chakra being at the center is like, listen, wisdom, divine wisdom has to be at the center of your life right now. Okay, because you're on the precipice of such a great, just this huge, I just hear this like huge leap and this level or of expansion that you've never experienced before, right? This a powerful, powerful transformation that you've never experienced before. So it's very crucial that you allow this wisdom, this divine knowledge and insight to be at the center. Not worry, not doubt, not fear, not the what if questions. Those cannot be at the center anymore, right? That's what you're being called away from. In order for you to follow your heart, you have to let go of worry. You have to let go of doubt. You have to let go of fear. You have to stop asking the what if questions, because you know the truth. The reason why you've been putting in the work, right, is because your heart has been guiding you to the truth. You've been healing and doing the work and becoming aware so that you can live in the truth, so that you can live out the truth, so that you can be a witness to the truth. So this whole questioning and worrying and doubting and living fearfully, it's all an act. Spirit wants you to hear that it's all an act, because you know, you have a clear understanding of who you are, of what the truth is. So Spirit is saying, stop acting. Stop acting like you don't know, because you do. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. We're going to start with the card that's in the northern hemisphere. That's representing the north part of the compass, and we have the Hermit. Okay, we have the Hermit card. So sometimes in order to follow your heart, in order to hear from your heart, you have to isolate yourself. Sometimes in order to hear from your heart, life has to isolate you. Life has to take you away from some of the things that you've been so attached to in order to get you to see this new direction that God is calling you in, right? So in the process of isolating yourself, of life, okay, we don't even want to say of you isolating yourself, of life, of God pulling you away from certain things in order to isolate you so that you can really start to hear and see what direction God is calling you in. Sometimes life has to take us away from things. Sometimes life has to take things away from us so that we can see clearly, okay? So the Hermit card is letting you know that it's time for you to be still so that you can start listening, because you can't live a distracted life and hear. Okay, this doesn't mean that you neglect life and your responsibilities. It just means that you let go of things that you know are distracting you, that you know and can feel you're attached to, right? Because that's what it is. The Hermit is like, listen, it's time for us to give up those unhealthy attachments, because it's those unhealthy attachments that are I just lost the word, but it's those unhealthy attachments, okay, that are crowding your energetic space, okay, that are causing pollution. That's the word I was looking for, pollution. Okay, it's those unhealthy attachments that are causing this pollution within your heart, right? There's so much fog and pollution within your heart space, within your crown chakra space, okay? That's what we're speaking to, how there's so much pollution and fog within your crown chakra space, which is why this information doesn't have a clear path to come through, which is why you're questioning everything, why you're worrying and doubting so much, because this crown chakra space is polluted. Your heart chakra space is polluted, and it's because of these unhealthy attachments. Okay, so the Hermit mode is saying the first invitation here for you to be able to follow your heart is for you to take a step back, to identify what these unhealthy attachments are so that you can let go of them, so that you can clear out the pollution. All right, and then the card we have, that was north. This next card is east, and we have the sun. Okay, we have the sun, which is speaking to the first word that came through is clarity. Okay, as I pulled the sun, the first word that I heard is clarity, which is what we're talking about, right? We're talking about you gaining clarity. We're talking about you getting clear. We're talking about you clearing out the pollution. What was I just saying? Clearing out the pollution, clearing out the fog. What happens when you clear out the fog? What happens when there's no pollution? You can see the sun. You can see the sun shining so brightly. But when there's so much fog, when there's so much pollution, you can't see the sun, right? You can't see the sun clearly. It's still there. The sun is still there, but you can't see it clearly. Okay? When you are holding on to all of these attachments, what you can't see clearly is yourself. Okay? When you're holding on to all these unhealthy attachments, what you can't see clearly is yourself. So the sun is saying, or yes, we have the hermit, then we have the sun. So the sun is saying, we're needing you to clear out, take a step back, to clear out this fog, to clear out this pollution so that you can begin to see yourself clearly. Because whenever it comes to following your heart, one of the first things that's necessary is for you to see yourself clearly, to really have a good understanding of who God says that you are, of who you are in the eyes of God. Okay, I was listening to Michael Bernard Beckwith this morning, and he said very clearly, my life is the life of God. But if you are if your crown chakra space, your heart space is so polluted, so filled with fog, you can't see that clearly. You can't see that your life is the life of God. You can't see that. And so the sun is here serving as a witness to that your life is the life of God, but right now you're not seeing that. Right now you're not grounded in that truth, okay? So the reason why the hermit is coming through is so that you can clear out the fog, clear out the pollution, so you can get grounded into the truth, so that you can reconnect with who you are, so that you can begin to see yourself clearly, okay? And then we have the card in the south spot, which is the moon. Okay, so we have the moon here. Okay, and I love that we have in the northern hemisphere, that we have in the north spot of the compass the hermit, and then we have in the south spot of the compass, the south point, the moon. Okay, the hermit and the moon are here mirroring each other so beautifully. Okay, so beautifully, which means that the hermit asking you to take a step back, okay, asking you to take a step back so that you can identify those unhealthy attachments, right? And then you have the moon, which is emphasizing, which is serving as clarity, which is clarifying the hermit card, saying, yes, it's time for you, in order for you to follow your heart, it's time for you to identify those unhealthy thought patterns, those unhealthy belief systems, those unhealthy internal programs and conversations that are keeping you in a limited space. Because that's what you're attached to. You're attached to the stories that you've been telling yourself about you, which are not true, which is why we have the sun, right? Reminding us that there's a truth that we're not grounding into. There's a truth that we're not grounding into, okay? And then we have the moon coming through, mirroring the hermit, saying, where do these unhealthy thoughts and attachments come from? Where do these fearful thoughts and conversations come from? Where did you pick them up from? Give yourself the time and space to identify where you pick them up from, because what you will realize is that they don't belong to you. Okay, this is who you are at your core, this free-spirited, worry-free person, individual. Okay, I'm reminded of, when I see the sun, I'm reminded of Matthew chapter 6, where in that Jesus is talking about, not worrying, just really living a carefree life. And that's who you are at your core. That's who you are at your core. You are a reflection of God. Your life is the life of God. God does not worry. God does not live in fear. Okay? God does not doubt God's power. God knows who he is. She is. Okay? And so through the sun, you're being asked to remember who you are. And then you have the moon saying, let's get into it. Let's get into the shadows. Let's find out. Let's identify what those limited thoughts and perspectives are that you've been holding on to about yourself so that you can let them go. Because the issue becomes when we're talking about following our heart, right? But if we're holding on to these limited thoughts and perspectives, right, then we can't even hear from our heart what it is. We don't even really know what it is that our heart desires. Because oftentimes our desires are more so in aligned with those old perspectives, with those old programs, with those old beliefs, right? Most of the time we want what we want because we are trying to, I love when the words just get like stuck because it's like, just sit with it for a second. But I'm like, I'm recording a reading. Oftentimes, the things that we want are the things that we want so that we can compensate for what we believed we lacked. Okay, oftentimes the things that we want are the things that we want so that we can compensate for the things that we believed we lacked. But when you know who you are, you know that no version of you ever really lacked what it is that you needed. No version of you, no matter what the circumstances were, your soul, the core of who you are, the essence of who you are, was always right here in this space. Living a carefree life, living in a life of ease. And so now, your physical self, okay, is being called into alignment with that eternal aspect of yourself. So that's why shit is being shaken up. That's why you're at this crossroads. That's why all this confusion. You think that you're confused because you're confused. No, you're confused because God is trying to get you to come home. Right? The pollution, the fog feels a little bit heavier than it usually does. Because God wants you to see that there's only one place for you to turn to, and that's inward. All right, so let's see what card is in the West spot. We have the Page of Swords. We have the Page of Swords. And the word that's coming through with the Page of Swords is determined. 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 That's the word that's coming through. That's the word that's coming through. Determined. You have to determine within yourself, right? What did I just say? God is trying to get you to see that there's only one place for you to turn, and that's inward. So you have to go within yourself, okay? Which is why the Hermit is present. You have to go within yourself. You have to take a step back. Choose solitude for a little while. Take a step back and go within yourself and determine within yourself that you are going to believe the truth, and you're going to let go of all the lies. You're going to detach yourself from all the lies, from all the negative perspectives, okay? We have the Page of Swords mirroring the sun. So we have the Page of Swords mirroring the sun, clarifying the sun, okay? The Page of Swords is clarifying the sun. The Page of Swords clarifying the sun is saying you have to determine, you have to go within yourself and determine within yourself that this is where you are going to live, that you are going to call this energy forward and ground yourself into it. Dwell in it, live in it, allow it to lead your life, this carefree, free-spirited, pure blissful energy, joyful energy, peaceful energy that is living within you, that you are supposed to be sharing with yourself and with everyone around you. Okay? And until you go within yourself and determine within yourself, that confusion, that fog, that pollution will continue to be there. It will continue to surround you. As long as you continue to see yourself through a limited lens. Okay? So, following your heart, Spirit is saying, you know what to do. You know what to do. Okay? We got to re-emphasize that because I said it somewhere. You know what to do. You're receiving the information. You're receiving the downloads. It's always raining down on you. Okay? But it's not clearing out the fog because you aren't trusting it. So God is saying, I need you to trust this information that I'm giving you because you asked for it. Okay? I just heard that come through. You asked for it. This wisdom, this knowledge, this insight that you've been receiving, you asked for it. You prayed for it. There's a version of you in the past that sometime in the past prayed to receive this clarity, prayed to receive this knowledge, prayed to experience this expansion, prayed to experience this transformation, prayed to experience life more abundantly from the inside out. There's a version of you that prayed for this. And God is saying, now that it's here, why are you running? Now that it's here, why are you running? Okay, so you have the crown chakra at the center point of this compass, letting you know that there's some fog, some confusion, some pollution that's present in your heart space, in your crown space, in your mental space. Okay, and the Hermit coming in to say, it's time, you need to take a step back, and life is putting you in that position naturally. Don't ignore it, don't run from it. Okay, and then you have the Sun coming in saying, listen, this clarity is available to you. We want you to get clear on who it is that you are. Let go of all these false perceptions of yourself. Let go of all these old versions of yourself, all these old definitions of yourself, and get clear on who. Allow God to show you who you are. Your life is the life of God. That is who you are. Okay? And then the Moon coming through, clarifying the Hermit, saying, yeah, you need to get into and identify these beliefs, these old perspectives, these limited beliefs and perspectives and programs, this inner dialogue, okay, that is causing you to cower away from where your heart is calling you to. And then we have the Page of Swords clarifying the Sun, and the Page of Swords, I didn't mention it, but it's coming through right now saying, listen, it's time to grow up. Not in the way that you were told to grow up from the world, right? You're a child, you're an adolescent, you're a young adult, and the world saying it's time for you to become a responsible adult. That's not what we're talking about. The Page of Swords is speaking to you maturing and growing up in the way that you think and perceive yourself. Okay? Your self-perception is not supposed to be a worldly kind of perception. The Page of Swords, the Sun, is speaking to this otherworldly, eternal, heavenly vibration and self-perception. And that is what you are calling in. That is what you are calling in. Okay? That is what, as you let go of the unhealthy attachments, that is what you are calling in, because that is what will move you forward. Okay? That is what will move you forward. So, follow your heart. Spirit is calling you to follow your heart. And in order for you to do that, you have to sometimes take a step back. And Spirit is saying, we need you to trust the insights, trust the information that we've been giving you for years, because you've been praying for it for years and we've been giving it to you, but you've been ignoring it. You haven't been allowing yourself to integrate it. And it's time to integrate it. It's time to trust this information, and it's time to integrate it, because we've been giving it to you. because you've been praying for it, you've been asking for it, yet you haven't been trusting it. So, wow, follow your inner compass, follow your compass, follow your heart. Your heart is your compass. Give yourself the time and space to hear, to listen, to observe which direction your compass, your inner compass, your heart is calling you to go in. I love you so much, so very much. If you would like to book a personal reading, a personal follow your heart reading, or just a general reading, then you can use the link in the description box below to schedule your appointment. If you would like to join me for the weekly group meditation that I host every Thursday evening, you can also click on the link in the description box below to sign up for that. I love you all so very much, and I appreciate you for being here. And I wish you well on your journey, okay? If you need me to pray for you, put it in the comments. Let me know. I will pray over you. I will pray for you. I will send Reiki, love, and healing energy to you, okay? Don't be afraid to put it in the comments. Until next time.